Hey guys, what's up? Welcome on in. We're back with season 3. This is StreamDream podcast. As you can see down below, we have the awesome. Wait, let me get this right. That's LimboLewis, and that
Hello.
there is NotThatZena. How are you guys doing?
Hi, doing good, thank you.
Yeah, great.
Good
Thanks
stuff.
for having us.
You're welcome. Is so little bit of a backstory of how you guys ended up on the podcast. Fat, who's in the chat right now, he wouldn't leave me alone, and he was like, "You should get them guys on." And then I thought, well, I could do individually, but then I thought, no, let's bring a couple on. So here you are. So, Fat, my man, you didn't leave me alone, and here we are, we're back. He was in my DMs all the time, and here we are. We're all ready to rock and roll. Season 3, episode 1. So how's your day been, guys? You had a good day?
Yeah, it's been pretty all right.
Yeah, not too bad. Gonna say neither of us streamed today, which has been good. Getting sort of the in real life stuff done, doing a bit of shopping.
Yeah. Awesome.
A little bit of wedding admin.
Wedding admin, yeah, because that's the wedding's coming up.
Oh yeah, when is that? Is it next year? Is it?
February.
Nice little winter wedding. Well, it's still winter then, isn't it? February, yeah. All right, okay. So my day, I pretty much had a kid who's been ill off school today. As soon as school started, she was suddenly fine, and she'd been dancing around and being a general pain in the ass all day. So tomorrow she's straight to school. Anyway, guys. Viewers, for anybody who would like to ask Zena and Limbo a question. Do you prefer me calling you Limbo or Lewis?
Either or, whichever's.
I call you Lewis, I think, because it's more natural in it. But yes, if you'd like to ask any of these guys a question, or both, please highlight them in the chat. I think it costs like 10 channel points to redeem them, so you're good. I'll get to them later on after we ask some of the more serious stuff that I have written down. I say serious. I see Limbo's face. He's like, got a little bit scared then. What's this? We have a few of your viewers in the chat, guys. Welcome on in, guys. So before we begin, guys, for anybody else who would like to be on the podcast at some point this season, please follow us on Twitter and check out our application page there, where you can drop an application in and we'll filter through them as soon as we can. I say we, it's me. Anyway, okay, guys, so I don't know which one you want to go first. I'll leave you decide. So tell, like myself and obviously the viewers, a little bit about you guys, not as streamers, just as yourselves.
You can go first.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Right. So one of the biggest things, I know you said not about streamers, but I mean, one of the biggest things for me is sort of mental health awareness. So I suffer with sort of mental health issues, depression, self-esteem issues. Have done for a lot of my life, and I mean, as a child, I was not the most confident. I was not the most popular. I was not that kind of person, like, at all. On holiday, going to like Pontins or something like that, I was never the kind of kid that would get involved in the mini disco. I'd prefer to be sat in a corner reading a book. And when I turned 20 years old, I'd just been made redundant from a job as a health and safety manager. Fantastic. And I'd actually just been away. I'd just been on holiday to Spain with a few of the old lad mates, and I decided I was going to give it a go. I was going to head out there, see if I could get a job as a DJ, something like that. It was a real struggle. Ended up on the streets for about 6 weeks in a country I didn't speak the language, and I was sort of thrust into an entertainer's job, something I'd never thought I'd do, something I never thought I'd be any good at, and that I did that for almost 5 years, just from being on the streets to suddenly working in these massive hotels, working with so many people, something I'd never done. I was always a very solo kind of person, and all it did was it gave me the bug for entertaining. I found it's something that I have a real passion for, making people happy, treating them well, sort of getting to know people. And it just sort of made getting into Twitch, it seemed like a fantastic thing to do. It wasn't something I did straight away. I'm going to say that it was about 5 or 6 years ago that I left Spain, got into the real world again, back into real work. But yeah, it was a fantastic thing to find. And to be fair, I wouldn't have ever actually got into Twitch if it wasn't for Xena giving me that push, because I had the self-esteem issues and stuff like that. I just didn't think people would ever want to get to know me, but it was thanks to Xena that actually made that push.
That's awesome. I know I asked the same question as Xena, but before we move on to Xena's answer, how did you guys meet? Was it in Spain or was it somewhere else?
No, we actually met on Tinder.
Okay.
Swipe right or left?
Standard, standard.
Which way you swipe?
I have no idea. That's after my time. I sort of met Amber before Tinder was a thing. It was Plenty of Fish actually when I met Amber, so there was no swiping there. It was just poking and prodding and poking and prodding, I suppose. But
online dating, it can work.
It can, yeah, absolutely. Okay, over to you, Xena. What tell obviously everybody a little bit about yourself as maybe not as a streamer.
Yeah, so I'm Xena, if anyone doesn't know me. My kind of background is, so I've got a bit of a theatre background. If you've been in my streams before, you know that I sing quite a lot. And originally I was going to try and go into musical theatre as a bit of a career choice, and that kind of didn't end up panning out for me for various reasons in my life. And I ended up going down a very academic kind of career route. I think I've mentioned again on streams before that I am a doctor, technically, of research, not medical, so don't worry, I'm not going to try and perform surgery in any of you, so you're all okay. But I've always kind of had that creative side in me that I've been neglecting a little bit over the years as I've gone down that kind of career path. And always watched a lot of YouTube, a lot of Minecraft YouTubers actually in particular, and always looked at them and gone, wow, I'd love to do something like that, but you know what, no one would ever sit there and watch me. I've not got anything really to say or to contribute. And when Lewis mentioned, you were the one that mentioned Twitch first, and I was like, oh, we should give that a go. But then you kept putting it off, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to start doing it. And one day I was like, I'm going to Twitch stream. I'm going to Twitch stream this weekend. And I knew that if I started doing it, you'd start. Yeah. And that's kind of how that started. But yeah, like Lewis said, the creative side of things is really what brought us towards Twitch. Yeah. And it's just so nice as someone who has quite a boring adult everyday kind of job that's not very creatively stimulating in any way to have that kind of outlet, really.
Yeah, I suppose you like you said your job's quite like a boring job and things, but you come home, you go onto Twitch, or even if you're not streaming, even if you're just watching a stream, it's like straight away, bang, you're in the zone, you're watching something, you're enjoying it, you're getting involved. That's the beauty of Twitch though, or any sort of streaming platform. You know, you can get involved, you can talk to the person that's playing the game or doing the show or whatever they're doing. You know, you can, all kinds of things, channel point redemptions to make them look silly and do silly shit. And, you know, it's awesome, honestly. It's one of the best things I did. I'm pretty sure you'd both agree. You know, the world of streaming is... and you get to meet some great people as well. Like, you know, obviously if I wasn't on Twitch or streaming at all, I would never have met you guys. I'd never have met people like Fat or like Primo's in the chat. Welcome on in, Primo. You know, it's great to get to meet these people. And, you know, you say meet, like most people be like I have family, they're like, yeah, but you don't meet them, do you? I'm like, well, no, but I still class them as friends. And if I did bump into them, I know I'd be able to have a great conversation straight away. There'd be no awkwardness, none of this, because you just get to know people. And like a lot of the time, I just watch streams. Like I know, like Lewis, for example, you play a lot of Pokemon stuff. Yeah. I'm not overly into Pokemon. I was when I was a kid, but now I come into your streams to have a catch up with you and watch you do your thing more than anything. You know what I mean? Not because I'm like, oh, I got to see how he gets on in Pokemon today. Obviously, people are different. Some may come in just to see how good you are at a game, or you know, whatever it is. But you know, that's the beauty of Twitch. It's a social thing as well, but it's awesome.
Yeah, the connections you make through Twitch are unbelievable, just absolutely unbelievable. It's again, like I said, for someone who was never very popular as a kid, who didn't really have the biggest social circle or anything like that, to actually have that connection with so many fantastic people, it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. Right, we're going to start with, for the next question, guys, with you this time, Xena. How long have you been streaming?
We actually started around the same time, so the beginning of March-ish.
Yeah, about 8 months ago.
Yeah, so how many months is that now? I can't math. This is well known about me. Is that 7 months, 8 months?
8 months ago, I think. I think it's
really.
Yeah, 8 months ago tomorrow, actually, the 3rd. I think 3rd is
That's
when
insane.
that was the day
Yeah.
you started.
So you started streaming 8 months ago. So like obviously I've been in both your streams. I've seen, you know, what sort of content you bring and what you're all about and what you do. And you'd never say you started 8 months ago. 8 months into my own streaming thing, I didn't have a clue what a tip ticker was. I didn't know what a chat box was, alerts, all these kind of things. I was still new to it 8 months in. You guys have literally, like, you present yourselves as if you've been doing it for years. You know what I mean?
Thank you, honestly. Thanks so much.
On that. That's
I mean,
awesome.
it's been a lot of fun, like learning all the kind of things. Like it's one of those things where I think a lot of people don't appreciate the work that goes on behind the scenes. And obviously you'll understand, Chris, because like you're a streamer yourself. But the amount of stuff we've had to learn, it's incredible, and it just astounds me that even to this day we're still learning new stuff. And every single stream it seems to be a different kind of tech issue or a different kind of new thing that you're trialing out or testing out, so it's always constantly evolving, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think like you know, obviously of the two of us, you're obviously the academic of the two of us, but we both put so much research into it. It's one of the things we do so much. You know, so watching other streamers, trying to pick things up from other people as well, trying out new things. I mean, you found a fantastic thing that does clips when we do shout outs, and again, that's just been something that's been absolutely fantastic for us, just because we love shouting out other people in the community as well, just to, you know, because it's all about sharing that love, you know, getting the whole community growing together.
Of course.
Yeah, you learn so much as the days go.
And the nice thing is, people come to us now for advice and tips, and it's. I mean, we don't know everything. We always say that to people, like, but we're always willing to help people. So it's nice now when people in our community who want to stream themselves are asking, "Oh, how do you do that?" And we're always very welcome to. We'd never gatekeep anything, and that's because, you know, we've learned from other people as well. So it's just nice to be able to give that back.
Absolutely, yeah, and I know exactly what you're saying, right? So, a friend of mine came to me. He's like, "Oh, you stream, don't you?" I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Great, help me with mine." I was like, "Oh, if I can help, yeah." And he was like, he was wanting all these crazy things, right? Like, he wanted this like scene transition where it was a soccer ball sort of coming in from like the corner and swooshing out around the whole screen, covering the whole screen at one point. He's like, "How do I do that?" I said, "You have to buy the animation first, or make it, or whatever you're gonna do, and then make it a green screen effect, and then all this stuff, and cut it out." And I was like, "I don't know how to do that." I said, "I can help you set up a stream overlay, no problem." And then he was like, "Oh, you're bloody useless." I was like, "Oh, thanks." Okay, but no, like I said, I see a lot of people out there, and they try to compete with their streaming. They're like, you know, "Oh, I've got like this more followers than you," and I'm like, just don't do that. Help people, because at the end of the day, right? I could be that dick, right? And I could say to you guys, "Oh, I've got more followers," even though I haven't. But then one day, you guys could literally be like up there, like Castro, the FIFA streamer, that, you know, all these people, huge, like 60,000 viewers a stream. And then I'd be like, "Oh, I wish I was nice to those guys. They could raid me these days." You know what I mean? But
that's it. To be fair, there's a phrase we actually use to each other quite a lot to again, just to try and keep ourselves grounded and everything, is that you compare and despair. It's never about comparing yourself to other people. It's more about learning from each other, helping each other. Again, Twitch as a whole is just a big community, and just like I said, for me, and I know it's equally as much for Zena as well, to see everybody grow. So, you know, some people don't carry on after doing it for a certain amount of time. Some people do stick with it, and it's for me, it's just great seeing everybody doing really well, and then knowing that, you know, you come into their streams as well, much as you did, you know, as much as we did to them, and vice versa, and then, you know, seeing each other doing well, and it's just seeing, it's almost like seeing your friends and your family having success.
Yeah, it's like a team thing, isn't it? It's like if you played football, for example, you know, you'd want to see your teammates score so the whole team wins, and that kind of thing. It's great. Like I love seeing people. Like I was in Zeno, in your stream the other day when you had them 100 deaths on that Limbo game.
Oh, God.
And then one of your followers, I can't remember, I think it's her name, sent me a DM. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then I looked and I realised she was in your stream. I was like, oh, okay. So I looked at the message and it was, hey, do you want to be a part of a secret plan? And I was like, hell yeah, sign me up. Okay. Have I spoiled something here? I'm sorry if I have.
No, I don't know what's going on.
No, but then she was like, right, so do you have 500 channel points right now? I was like, yeah, I do. She's like, okay, when Xena gets 100 deaths, we're all going to spam the jump scare. I was like, oh, okay, sounds good. Yeah, let's do this. So then, obviously, when you hit that 100, it went nuts. And you were just hysterical laughing.
Everyone did it at the same time. I was creasing. I've never laughed so hard in my life.
It was really good.
A stitch.
I think I already know who it's.
Was it Violet Panda?
I'm thinking it was Violet Panda.
Probably.
Let me have a look. Hold on. I can't remember the name.
It probably was.
Violet's amazing.
It was, yeah. It was.
That surprised me.
But no, soon, like, as soon as she said that, and I was like watching the way people were talking to you and things, and in your chat, and both you guys' chats, you got a lot of like regular viewers who come in, and they all like really want to see you do well. They're there all the time. Like the more you go in someone's stream, you see the same names, and you're like, these guys are awesome. They're loyal people. But no, it's great to see that you've got that sort of support, both of you. You know, it's awesome. We have kind of touched on it, right? But I have it on my list, so I have to ask it. That's the rule. If it's on my list of questions, I'm going to ask it anyway. What made you get into streaming? I know you sort of said, Limbo, about your, your background and things you never thought you would, but what else was it maybe that got you into it?
Yeah, I would say, like I said, with because I did the entertaining in Spain, and I really, that obviously it really made me feel fulfilled, I think is the best word to describe it. And then having come back, got into, like I said, into the real world again, into normal jobs, retail, office work, that kind of stuff. It was, it was just, it just seemed like a natural thing to do, but I just never wanted to make that jump. I just, again, because of like self-esteem, I just didn't feel I could do it. It was something I always wanted to, but never really felt I could. And then, like I said, if it wasn't for Xena sort of saying, you know what, we're going to do this, then I still would now to this day be sitting here, watching people on Twitch and just thinking, oh, I'd love to do that. I'd really love to do that, and never get around to it. So, but I'm so glad I did. Presenting on stage was, it just felt like second nature. So to then come onto Twitch and essentially just be presenting again, but in a more connected way, because every person that comes into chat, it feels like another friend, and I'm just chatting away, and asking people how they're doing, and finding out so much interesting things about people. We've got another fantastic person who keeps popping into our streams, a fantastic supporter who is a very, very, very talented yo-yoer.
Okay.
I didn't even know there's different classes of competition for yo-yoing.
Really, that's insane.
Like 1A, 1B, all the way up to like 5A and things like that. And it was mind blowing. But it was so nice to not only learn about all that, but to also share in that passion with someone as well. So I mean, that's a big one for me, and I assume it's similar for you. But I'm sure you've got some fantastic points to add as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, when we first started doing Twitch, I don't think I didn't really watch much Twitch before we started. That's terrible to admit. I only really got into watching streams as I kind of started. I did like a few days of research before I started doing my first stream, and stumbled across a few really nice people who we still talk to and hang out in their streams now. They're lovely people. And I didn't realise quite how interactive it was going to be. I'm quite a shy person. That doesn't come across at all in the way I stream, because I'm a weird kind of introvert where I come across very extroverted, but I really struggle with kind of social anxiety issues and things like that. And I think when I used to watch YouTubers, I was always like, oh, I'd like to do that, because you don't really, you interact with people in the comments, but it's kind of your content, you're in control. And for me, it's been one of the greatest things actually, is putting myself in that position where I have to think on my feet and be myself, and kind of share myself with people in a way that I'm not necessarily 100% comfortable with in my real life. And it's made me really come out of my shell and kind of accept who I am as a person and really enjoy myself as a person. It's really weird though, because before we started, I was like, this is going to be something we need to be careful of, because you never know who's going to troll you. And I was like, are we ready for that? Are we prepared to put ourselves on the internet and put ourselves in that position where that could happen?
Yeah.
And I was very, very concerned about that before we started. I was like, that's the only reservation I have. And you know what? It was completely unfounded. Like, don't get me wrong, everyone gets the odd troll that slips into the chat and you just deal with them and ban them. But on the whole, like, I've just been overwhelmed with like how incredible the Twitch community is.
Yeah.
Everyone's
It really is.
the word.
Yeah.
It really, I say this every single podcast, right? But for me, okay, like the first time, I think when I made affiliate, I just doing my regular thing, streaming away, and then next thing, somebody random popped up and subscribed to me, and I was like, wow, this guy doesn't know who I am. I've never seen him in my chat before, and here he is dropping a sub, and I was like, why? It just blew my mind that somebody actually wanted to give away, part of their cash to subscribe to my channel. I thought, wow, this is amazing. And even to this day, every single sub you see, any bits, all that kind of stuff, it just blows my mind. I'm like, I don't do it for that, as I'm sure a lot of people don't. I literally do it mainly just to have fun and meet people and have a presence and all this kind of thing. But it blew my mind, honestly, and that's how awesome the Twitch in particular community is, as I'm sure it is on all the other streaming platforms as well.
Yeah.
But no, you're spot on. It is a great place to be. So you sort of touched on it, Zena. My next question. You said you didn't really watch much before. So the question I actually have next is, did you watch many streamers before you started yourself? Did any of them influence you?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I used to watch a lot of YouTubers like the Minecraft YouTubers, so LD Shadow Lady and Smallish Beans and that kind of group of people. Yeah. And I think they all started playing Among Us, and obviously they played a lot of that on Twitch because it's a much more kind of easy thing for them to stream as opposed to their Minecraft content. And I think I ended up watching their YouTube recordings of the streams and being like, oh, this doesn't seem like their usual content. It seems like much more unedited. And I think that's how I kind of got across onto Twitch and was like, oh, they stream as well. I've not really seen this too much. And that's kind of how I started. And then I started trying to see, well, okay, what kind of games do I want to stream? I'm going to go into those categories and see what people are currently doing, what kind of streams they do, what kind of vibes are there, what's working well, and ended up making a few friends that way before I started streaming properly. I think maybe I'd been streaming for a couple of days, or a week at that point. But yeah, that's kind of how I started. And now, God, I'm watching streams every day. It's just, it doesn't stop. You're always just like making sure, trying to see as many people as you can and pop on lurks for people. And I'm quite lucky because I work from home at the moment because of the situation globally. But I'm quite lucky that I can work from home and I can stick the streams on in the background. And it's been so nice to be able to like grow a community of friends and like be able to support them whilst I'm working and like jump in, and like it's almost like they've replaced my colleagues a bit in a way because I don't have that interaction anymore, and I kind of would have been missing it if I didn't have something like Twitch. So yeah, that's kind of my watchership with Twitch. What about you, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, kind of similar. It's I mean, my mental health seriously deteriorated towards the end of the end of 2020 with the lockdown. I was actually working for an as of this moment unnamed estate agent. I was a lettings agent, and I was having to spend a lot of my working time sort of essentially evicting people from their houses during a lockdown where it's very difficult to get back into anything. So my mental health went to a really, really bad place, and so I ended up having to leave my my work. Again, it was Zena sort of. So I was more than willing to keep pushing myself through the pain. I was having daily panic attacks. I was an absolute state. I was an absolute mess. Zena said, "Look, just take some time off work. Get back in, you'll get back into it afterwards, but take, just come out of it. And the most important thing is you being healthy." And like Zena said, you do miss the interaction with your colleagues. You do miss
you do.
interacting with people. So it is great to be able to communicate with people on Twitch, and like I said, it's I suppose in the same way, when you're in a job for a long time, your colleagues become your friends. They almost become family. But the difference is with Twitch is you find that a lot of the people that come into your streams, they come in because they share an interest.
Yeah.
Whereas colleagues, you just share a career. And a lot of the time, I think only some people in this life are very lucky to have a career that is something they are passionate about. Most people just they do a job because they need to work to live.
Of course.
But coming into Twitch and meeting people who actually do share interests and share morals and ethics as well, it's just so, it's almost like a refreshing humanity. It's because you kind of get bogged down with how negative the world can be, and how people can always be trying to get you down, or some people are very self-centered or selfish in their thoughts, and you think, am I just alone in this ocean of people? And then you get onto Twitch and you start meeting people who, like I said, they share an interest, and it's just so refreshing. It sort of brings you that love of humanity back in again.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like you said about people who share the same passions as you and stuff. It's literally, unless you're in a FIFA stream, everybody you meet in Twitch will be just like-minded. They're there for the same reasons, whether they're a watcher or a streamer. And it's just, more streams, it's like a general, like not a rule then, but it's a general sort of set of things. Like you go in, you can use channel points and you can do things in their stream. You can subscribe or give bits and all this stuff. It's everybody's sharing the same thing, and I couldn't agree more. It's literally an awesome community, and it's helped me a lot as well, as I'm sure it does with a lot of people. So this is one I need to ask you, both of you. What is the best piece of advice that you would personally offer somebody new who's starting off in this crazy world of streaming?
Oh,
I'd say my top advice, and this is very boring, but this is like coming from a researcher here, so I do apologise. But mine would be, and I saw it everywhere when I was doing my research about what to do, is find a schedule that works for you and try and stick to it. It's really difficult to do that because everyone has their lives, and everyone who starts off streaming always obviously starts off doing it alongside other life commitments and things. But if people know that you're always there on a Saturday at a specific time, then that kind of grows that kind of community, and they know to expect that you're there. Even if you can only commit to one day a week, then commit to that one day and try and stick to it. This is the most boring advice ever, but that's really worked for us, having a schedule.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to stick to it because you do have life stuff going on, but trying to stick to that as much as possible, I think, and consistency, which is easier said than done, like with all the other life stuff. But that would be my number one piece of advice.
Yeah, great bit of advice. Like, obviously, unless you're doing it as a job, then keeping that consistency is hard, obviously, because you could get called into work on a different day, or anything could happen. Like, people have kids, the kids could, I don't know, maybe hurt themselves and need to go to hospital and all these kinds of things. So literally anything can get in the way of it. So, but I've noticed you're both very consistent, actually. Like, I know, Zena, you stream on Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays, am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I noticed that. So obviously you can see as well, because like when you go on your channel and you click on schedule, it'll show the sort of days of the week, and then what your last stream was on them days of the week. So, and
we're very lucky at the moment because we don't have kids. We don't really have like any pets because we're not allowed any. We don't have a lot of commitments outside of our jobs.
Yeah.
So we understand that for other people who are different stages of their lives, it must be so difficult. Like, I can't imagine what it would be like us having a kid and trying to do everything we do at the moment. So, but I'd just say, if that's the case, then try and stick to it, even if it's just one day a week or one evening, like 2 hours. And the thing is, if you do have to cancel something, then generally if you're consistent, then people are quite forgiving. Like we've
Yeah.
cancelled, I think, one set of our Sunday streams because we had a family event to go to, and we were like, well, we've
Yeah.
not seen them for 2 years because of the pandemic. So you know what, we're going to take Sunday
Yeah.
off and we're going to go. And people didn't mind that, but because we're so consistent most of the rest of the time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's another thing, just as an add-on to that as well, is that the one thing that blows me away are the streamers who are also parents. I have so much respect for a streamer that is also a parent and being able to still have that energy as well. Obviously, having worked in entertainment, it's not quite the same as being a parent, but the amount of effort and energy you have to put into kids to still have that energy presenting as well is honestly, it's absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, 100%. I would also like to add another another tip if anyone who is to start streaming, because I was going to say the same thing that Zena said. But one thing that I would say is so important is don't focus too much on the numbers. When it comes to it, do it because you enjoy it, not because you want to see that number constantly rise. If you focus on enjoying it, that comes across and the numbers will come. But if you're focusing on the numbers and say, for example, getting stressed out and you think to yourself, oh, I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever number in my stream, and you start, if you start to feel that, oh, I've only got this many, it's not worth it. That shows, and then it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, if I can say that.
Yeah.
The more you get stressed and annoyed about it, the more annoyed your audience is going to be, and then they're not going to necessarily want to come back. But if they can see you're enjoying yourself, they can see that you're just being the best person you can be, they'll always want to come back.
Exactly. That I noticed in both your guys, you two are always laughing, whether you're streaming together or individually. You're always laughing and just having fun with it. Like, you're not being too serious. Like whatever game you're playing, you're not too sort of focused in on it and worrying about the game. You're always having fun. Like, I love what you say, Lewis, when you say in your stream, when people come in, I hope you're having a wonderful, fun day. I love that. I think that's one of the best things I've ever heard, and it's sort of. It's so you as well, it's based on like how what sort of games you stream and the way you set yourself up. That I love that. It's awesome. I actually noticed it the first time when I was in your stream a couple of days ago. I noticed you said it to somebody. I think you said it to me when I came in and I said hi, and then somebody else came in and you said it, and I was like, this is like a set thing he says when people come in. I love it. It's great. Wonderful day. Awesome.
I do often get so concerned that it might come across as though I'm just saying it, which is something I actually really struggle with anyway with my mental health, is that because I am genuinely quite a positive, happy person, despite having depression and self-esteem issues. I am genuinely very positive, especially about others. And one thing I've struggled with, to be fair, throughout my life, has been people thinking, oh, he's just putting it on and stuff like that. But I do truly, genuinely want to hear that people have had a wonderful day. I want to hear that people are doing well. And if they're not doing well, then to think that, well, you know what? Hopefully, I mean, again, maybe because I've been at my worst. Having been at my lowest point and come back from it, I just feel that even if you are having a bad day, the only way is up from there.
Absolutely.
And I just always want to see people feeling that positivity, even if they're not having the greatest day, just to see. I just always want to wish people a wonderful day.
And I can confirm he is like this in real life. So
I bet he is. I bet he's
like this all the time.
I honestly, I'd love to spend a couple hours with you in real life and just. It'd be so fun, I'd imagine. Like, it's just a bubbly. Both of you, both so like bubbly and happy, and I was watching your stream before, and I was looking. I was like, is he really this happy all the time? And I was like, I imagine he is.
He's a human being. He has his moments, like we all do. But no, this is Lewis.
Like, he's always smiling on his streams. Like, same again, both of you, literally always smiling, always doing this little dance while you're playing the games. like you did actually speak about that on your stream the other day, saying that you're always sort of bobbing your head around and because you enjoy dancing and that kind of thing. Oh, look at this bot. Can you deal with this bot, please? Get rid of it.
Famous, yes, please. Save me the link.
But yeah, it's like, I think when I came in your stream, Lewis, the other day, I was having a bit of a rough, not a rough day, but a bit of a crappy day. It was like my work was just boring. There was nothing much going on, and because I work from home as well, none of my friends were online, so I couldn't speak to them in a party or anything. And I was just sat here. I was like, oh. And I thought I was going to watch someone on Twitch. I came onto Twitch, seen your name, thought I'll watch Lewis play for a while. And then instantly I was like enjoying myself, and I was like sort of bobbing along to music with you, and you know, having a laugh along. It's great, honestly. It's so like, what's the word? Wholesome.
Oh,
absolutely wholesome.
Thank
It's
you
great.
so much.
Honestly,
I think that's all we ever want to bring across is we just want to provide a little positive corner of the internet for people to come across and just feel happy, even if it is the only time in the day that they are feeling positive. I just want to constantly see people feeling good.
Yeah. Well, just don't change, either of you. Keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing exactly that.
Thank you.
For myself, and I'm sure everybody else who comes in your streams as well. Right, okay. Let's move on to the next questions I have. I feel like I need to stop reading them out, and I need to be more fluid with them, but we'll go with it. Right, okay, we can talk a little bit about the games you both play. I know you both kind of play the similar sort of games, right? So
it's
as you
kind
can
of started
see,
off
like,
that way. We started off going for kind of variety streams, doing little bits of different things. But Lewis is kind of evolving into a Pokemon streamer as time's gone on. Don't get me wrong, I still play a bit of Pokemon because I do really like Pokemon, but I still consider myself definitely a variety streamer. I'll just play whatever I'm feeling, whatever I fancy. It started off, I think, Stardew Valley is the first thing I ever streamed. But a bit of everything: Fall Guys, Minecraft, Pokemon, scary games over Halloween. Like I'll play anything, and a lot of indie games as well. You find a lot of really cute games that aren't necessarily like, you know, the big games, the big people pleaser games, but you know, you find some gems doing that, and that's what I really enjoy. I love a story-based game that really just takes me by surprise, and the amount of times I've done an emotional one on stream and cried at the end. I need to stop doing that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Showing emotion, that's another thing people like to see. But Lewis, it's pretty much the same for you as well, right? With every time I come in, it's either Pokemon, or I think I seen you playing a Minecraft Pokemon mod or something once, which looked pretty cool, by the way.
Yeah, so as you were saying, we both sort of started off as variety streamers, and I think the first game I ever streamed was No Man's Sky. To be fair, fantastic game, love it. I would not be opposed to doing another little No Man's Sky series again in the future, but as the months have gone on, I started off with, I think when I first started, we didn't have a capture card for the Switch, so we had no way of showing any of that. So I think I did a couple of streams of a couple of the old Pokemon games on emulator, and I did that sort of once a week. And in all fairness, it was probably the worst content I've done on Twitch. if I'm entirely honest with you, it was absolutely awful. But it's lessons learned as it's gone on. But when we got the capture card in, I thought, oh well, you know what, I'll make use out of this. So I then decided to do 2 Pokemon streams over the week. So I stream 5 days a week at the moment. And then that then I think the new Pokemon Snap game came out, and I thought, oh well, I'll add that in as well. So suddenly it was 3 days. And then we started doing Minecraft, like you said, the Pixelmon, which is, you know, Pokemon in Minecraft. So I didn't consider that Pokemon, I considered it Minecraft, but that then became a Pokemon stream as well. And then it's essentially every time I've had other games and I've finished that, I've thought, I could probably put Pokemon in there.
Why not?
And yeah, it was actually only the other day, someone came into the stream and sort of, asked me what sort of games I play, and I said, oh, to be fair, mostly Pokemon. And they said, oh, it says in your bio that you're a variety streamer. I was like, yeah, probably not so much anymore, as it turns out. But because it was so gradual, I never really noticed it was happening.
No, I suppose you wouldn't.
Until it was pointed out to me.
Maybe you should change it to a variety streamer, then in brackets, like a variety of different Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Maybe pop that in there, maybe. No, but like I said, when I was a kid, I was huge on Pokemon. I like collecting the cards, the toys, watching it on TV, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then I just sort of didn't watch it anymore. I stopped watching it, grew out of it a little bit, but I still find it like fascinating, how much people do enjoy it and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've actually recently started getting into anime. I used to think anime was nonsense, right? Honestly. And then a friend of mine, Bree, she said, you should watch it. It's actually really funny. She said to me, like, do you watch Simpsons? I was like, yeah. She's like, do you watch Family Guy and South Park? I was like, yeah. And then she's like, well, just try anime. A lot of it is the same kind of comedy and same humor and that kind of thing, just different style. And I started watching it. I can't remember the name of the one I started watching, but it's actually really good. So I'm definitely going to check out more anime for sure. But
if you find out after the stream, send us a link. I'm always looking for new shows to watch.
I will definitely. I can remember what it was about. It was this guy who they all have like a number, or was it lives on their head or on their arm or on their chest. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's like a emperor or conqueror or something like that, or I can't remember. But basically, every time they like get hurt, their sort of lives sap away. And then there's these guys then who've been around for like 600,000-700,000 years and all this stuff, and they're like just assholes, and like they kind of smug themselves and things. But honestly, it's quite good. I'm watching it, and the comedy in it is awesome. Honestly, it's really good, and the animations and things. So I'm an anime fan now, thankfully. So, but it's my own fault because I was very judgmental of it. I always thought like, oh, it's nonsense. But then here I am watching it and enjoying it. So I could have spent a lot more time watching it, but thankfully I am now. But yeah, anyway. Right, okay, what else are we going to have a look at? I got a list of questions, yeah. I'm not going to ask them all because there's thousands of them. Right, let's touch a little bit on equipment. So you guys... So Zena, you said earlier that you decided one day to just go ahead and try out a stream. Did you have all the equipment before you guys started streaming, just for gaming purposes?
So no, but the only thing... So we bought these headsets.
Yeah.
Specifically to stream because we knew they had the... I mean, we don't use these anymore because these microphones are not the greatest for streaming in the long term. But yeah, we bought these specifically, and I think did we already have a webcam of some description, or did we buy a really, really cheap webcam? I can't remember.
I think we didn't have a webcam to begin with.
No, we definitely did. I had a webcam on. We had webcams from the first stream. Because
from the first stream. But I think we bought a webcam.
Essentially, we bought a cheap webcam
and shared it.
We shared it, yeah. Well, you're right. And then when we did upgrade the microphones, we shared a microphone as well, which was hilarious because we had to swap equipment between streams every single time one of us finished. It was like, okay, pass the microphone over to me and the camera. But yeah, we just went with cheapo stuff and kind of evolved as time's gone on. And don't get me wrong, I kind of feel like it's a bottomless pit of money that you could just sink everything into. Like you're always constantly just like, oh, that could be better, that could be improved. I could buy this and that'll make a difference. But at the end of the day, I feel like the real stream quality from watching the people as well as doing it, I feel like it's the person, the interaction, the thing the kind of communication you're having with the streamer. Like I've met so many fantastic streamers who, that don't have the best webcam, they don't have the best microphone,
or don't have a webcam at all.
They don't have a webcam at all, yeah.
Yeah.
Just their personality comes across so well. But yeah, we've kind of evolved. We've now got lighting but there's always things on the wish list that we've wanted to add to the equipment.
I remember back when we were sharing a webcam, sharing a microphone, and that was around the time that we sort of streamed much closer together as well. So it would be I remember a few times you tried to raid into me, and so you'd end the stream with a raid into me, and I'd have to sort I think I had a webcam by this point, and I just sort of had to be like, hang on, as we brought the microphone across and plugged it all in, and it was a nightmare.
It's kind of cringy now. I think about it.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Did you act surprised when she raided you, even though she was like sort of in the same house as you?
Oh, I should have done. Like, oh, Zena's coming with a raid. Oh, I had no idea. I was just sitting here, just thinking I was just gonna start, and then all of a sudden, Zena, thank you.
And then she just pops in from like the bottom of the camera, like just a little head pops in. Thanks, you're welcome. That'd be funny. That'd be good content there. That would have been one of them like sort of clips you'd just go back to, I think, all the time. But no. So I'm assuming you guys like what equipment? Obviously, I know Zena. Was it you who won the webcam from that Adrenaline? Yeah, it was. Yeah. So obviously you have like you both have PCs, yeah, and obviously your own setups, which like there's a lot of money, you know, because there's two of you.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously myself, I got mine, and then I got to buy Amber stuff as well because she wants to come and play RP as well now. So she's been getting into RP with us. So I'm like, oh geez, I just bought all mine. Thought I was gonna save some money, and now I got to spend more money again. But no, it's worth it though. It's been good fun so far. But so, is there any sort of unusual equipment to use? By that I mean, a lot of people I spoke to in the past, I have this ring light, as you can probably see, like up here somewhere. It's shining all over the place, right? A lot of people literally use the most makeshift of things you can ever find. I spoke to one guy. His mum had an old dressing table with like a strip light sort of going underneath the top shelf. He used that as his desk, so he had the light on there ready. So
that's amazing. Yeah. To be fair, the most janky thing that I've got, and I've still got, is I brought some string lights for my background because I wanted to make it look all cozy and like, you know, didn't really think about how I was going to put them up because we're not allowed to put hooks in the wall here because we're in rental accommodation.
Yeah.
So I was like, how am I going to hang these? So currently my string lights are masking taped to a broom handle, which is sat on top of so you can see this cupboard here, but my setup's over here, and it's just kind of resting on a broom handle,
just out
of frame. So
just out of there, like just cropped out a little bit. Nice, I like that.
Yeah.
It works though, right? It does what it needs to do.
I tell you another thing. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, what's this stuff called? It's like these like Velcro-y sort of things you can get, and they can literally hold up shelves with it. I forget what it's called, but they're pretty good.
Like stick strips or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Seeing something like that.
They're really good, but
yeah,
just in case that broom handle snaps, you know.
It should be all right.
I was just thinking, it's only really a few months ago that we got my little PC desk here, and even now, I mean, the PC desk I'm using is incredibly janky. Anyway, it's like if you went to IKEA and then thought their cheapest one, that's probably a little bit too high quality for what we're going for. So we'll go down to Pikea and see what they've got down there, and then go for their budget version. So that's sort of what I'm working with at the minute. I mean, for example, I still to this day do not have a mouse mat. I just use a book.
It works though, right?
But before I had this incredibly expensive desk. Which is I somehow have two monitors squeezed onto something that is literally the length of my forearm. I was actually using, and to be fair, this will only some of the older people in the audience is going to understand this. Do you remember back in the day when, so I'm talking not only back when, when homes had a landline, but when you had a corded phone, so not even a cordless phone, but a corded phone, and you had those like mahogany small little tables with little wings that popped out. You'd put a phone book on it and you'd have your phone on it as well. I used to have both of my monitors and keyboard and mouse squeezed all onto this tiny little desk. And because it was so short, obviously, because it's a telephone table. I'm pretty sure you can't buy them anymore because there's no need. But I actually had I had about 6 board game boxes underneath the table.
Couldn't play Monopoly.
Yeah, we couldn't play any board games as soon as I started streaming. That was it. Board games were out the window. Well, under the table. but it was just it was so janky. It was so just like cobbled together, but it worked. And even now, I mean, the second monitor I'm using across here is a very old Dell monitor. It's not quite the old bulky deep CRT ones, but it was probably the first model they had after.
Yeah, like is it like a black one? Is it like a black
little
frame
black one,
things?
little silver circle on the bottom, and a couple of little buttons, and that's it. And it's I'm still using it now.
It does a trick though.
The TV I'm using, I'm not even using, my second monitor isn't a PC monitor. It was a television that I bought when I was living in Spain, and it still has the Spanish plug socket on it, so I have to use a converter.
No way. That's awesome though. See, these are the sort of stories I love to hear, honestly. They're great. Like, before I was lucky enough to get my setup, I was literally streaming off a laptop, and I wasn't even sat where I am now. I was actually sat like the other side of my room over there. I had a bed right next to me. I had my PC on my bed. I didn't have a cooling mat for my PC, right? I had the box that the PC came in. Well, the laptop would go on top of the box, which I'd put a few holes in. Worst mistake ever, because I was streaming one day, and obviously all the holes in, over time they weakened the box, and then I had my PC and it was next to me on the bed. I was doing my stream, doing my thing, next thing all I had was boom, what the hell, turned on, the PC had fallen through this box, slid out onto the floor. So yeah, and I didn't even realise, and I was like, oh shit, my stream's gone down. Great. But yeah, I love that kind of thing, like, you know, because like a bit of advice you could offer people actually is, you know, if you're just thinking about getting into streaming and you don't have the equipment, you don't have a PC or, you know, monitors and all this other good stuff, maybe just try streaming a little bit off your console or something first before you decide to dive into it, because it's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap. Like, webcams these days, good ones cost you like, what, $80 I think, and what else is there, like microphones like this. This was quite cheap. This was £60, this thing, and it came with a boom arm. Which, by the way, talking about makeshift stuff, my boom arm, the desk has like a rod going all the way around it. So my boom arm the clamp doesn't fit entirely under the desk. So it's like, so say that's the circle part of the boom where it clamps.
Right.
Only half of it fits. So what I've done is I've got a bit of wood and I wedged it in so it like acts as a full clamp. And even now, sometimes when I move it, it's like sort of wobbling a little bit. Sometimes it comes off completely and like I have to do it all again, but thankfully at the minute it's pretty sturdy. Thankfully.
Nothing wrong with the bodge job. Nothing wrong with the bodge job.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it, bro. Nothing at all wrong with that. Right, okay, we're actually going to move on now to some viewer questions. I've seen a few coming in the chat right now, but we do have, for season 3, I found a nice new fancy little feature that we can use. Watch this. Why is it not... Wait, where's it gone? Why is it not working? Oh, this isn't great. Wait, let me just try and make sure it's working okay. It was, there we go.
A tech issue.
No, absolutely. Okay. So apparently it doesn't work for questions which have been asked, which have been what's the word? Like highlighted. Oh, that's great to know. Thanks, Twitch. You could have told me that before.
Well done.
Right. Okay. But we do have a question from Fat. He's asking, question for both. Would you agree that streaming, connecting with new people from all over the world, helps sort of like a therapy in regards for mental well-being?
Definitely. From my point of view, and I assume, you should never assume, makes an ass out of you and me. Yeah, I mean, I really, again, like I said, because I suffer with self-esteem, I really struggle to tell myself that I'm doing well, or to tell myself that, you know, things are okay, or even just that, even to tell myself that I can be liked. So it's almost like, in a way, it's almost getting that affirmation is really, really positive. But even then, you know, that's definitely something that's grown a lot as we've grown. But even when we first started, just seeing that, you know, people come into your chat and you know, if they spend like 15 minutes in with you, it's so nice to think that, you know what, actually maybe I'm not that bad of a person. It's, you know, I'm someone that people can enjoy, you know, spending 15 minutes of the day with. And in the same way that, you know, so when you make friends or you're trying to make friends or starting to make friends, you know, be it, you know, when you're a child in school or getting into a new job or, you know, joining a club or something like that, and you sometimes feel to yourself that, oh, I wonder if I'm going to fit in. I wonder if people are going to want to be friends with me. It's so positive, more than anything, because the Twitch community as a whole is very positive. I think you sort of touched on it before about any stream except FIFA streams. You'll find a positive energy, a positive atmosphere, and it's, for me personally, it was a big help. Because it did sort of give that affirmation, that feeling that, you know, I'm making some real friends here. I'm making you know, finding some nice people to speak with, and even beyond that, being able to, because one thing that I always say on my streams as well is that it's very important we need to normalize speaking about mental health. We need to make that normal. We need to be able to speak about our problems. And the thing is, as hard as it is to believe, and again, I can only really say this from my own experience, but as hard as it is to believe, it is, you know, people do care, even if they've only just met you. You know, genuinely, most people don't want to see other people sad. So it's, they do want to see you doing well, and by doing well, I mean, you know, living healthily and being happy and stuff like that. So it was so refreshing, especially. I'm not going to go too much into it, but you know, my mental health is affected by family in a few ways. Sort of getting a lot of negative reinforcement rather than positive reinforcement. And to see that there are so many kind people in the world it improved my view of humanity, as I think I mentioned earlier on as well. But I mean, how about yourselves? Did you?
So the question was about, is it like a kind of therapy, right? I don't even think I realized like how much I was struggling until I started doing Twitch. And it's weird, but like, as you know, obviously Lewis has mentioned about his mental health. As a partner, someone who's going through a really difficult time and a lot of kind of traumatic experiences from your past and stuff like that, you don't really realize sometimes as a partner who's supporting. And I think Twitch has been so wonderful for me because I've not really had anyone to support me. I've got a wonderful family, but I don't talk to them very deeply about anything that I'm going on within my head. We're very much the kind of people who are, you know, you just get on with things. That's the way you live your life. And it's just been so nice to find, similarly to like what you're saying, people who actually want to be my friend. I don't have any in real life friends, although I didn't, well, I do now because I still count my Twitch friends as now in real life friends, even if I haven't met them. I think a lot of adults struggle with this. It's kind of, you grow apart from people as you get older, as you realise that you're not the same people, you've got different interests. The people you meet in work, like you were saying before, might not necessarily have the same interests as you. They're just your colleagues rather than your friends. Yeah. And it's just been so nice to finally meet people who I have that connection with and who I feel like actually like me and want to stick around me. And it's a different kind of dynamic when you're colleagues with someone and you're trying to be friends with them because they kind of have to try and get on with you because you work with them, whereas in Twitch it's kind of, you know, these people are choosing to come and spend time with you just because they want to, and that's great. Although I will put my sensible head on here and say that Twitch is not a replacement for therapy, and if you do need to talk to someone, then please do go and talk to someone. Lewis and I are both actually in therapy individually for stuff that we're going through, and we couldn't recommend doing that more if you need to, because even though Twitch is a great community of people, very supportive, you know, if you do need the help, then do it. It's the best thing you'll ever do. And
you know, as a sort of an aside to that as well, with because, and specifically for the people in the UK, I know that it's from the struggle that we had, because I went into therapy first. Again, to be fair, this is why I'm so lucky to be marrying this girl, because Xena was the one that sort of pushed me to get the help from a therapist. It was something that I think a lot of people do struggle with, is sort of accepting that they need help. And don't get me wrong, without a doubt, the best thing that's ever happened to me, the most positive influence on my life, both from 5 years ago all the way up until now, is Xena. Xena is the most positive, shining light in my life. She constantly makes me feel wanted, constantly makes me feel like I am a good person. She's the one thing that truly brings me up. She is literally, she's my everything. So
I love that one.
I can't be any more thankful for that. But at the same time, and I know that when it comes to it, a lot of the issues that you are going through are due to the issues I'm going through, because you have been so wonderful in supporting me, but without having anybody else to talk to about those problems, about those struggles, because you've been so strong for me, it's been very, very hard for you as well, which is tough. So having therapy as an option is absolutely brilliant. But like I said, specifically for the people in the UK, and this is a problem that we struggled with when trying to find a therapist for me, is that sometimes it can be difficult to get that help on the NHS. There are the services there, but they are very underfunded. They don't have the most resources. They don't have a lot of people available, and due to that, sometimes, I'm not going to say that the services aren't very good by any stretch of the imagination. If you can get the help from the NHS, by all means do it, and you will find that they are fantastic. But I was kind of feeling like I was being kept getting pushed down the line,
Pillar to post,
because they've got so many people that they need to get through to. But then Xena was able to find a register of chartered therapists. I think that's the correct term. But yeah, a register of chartered therapists who work privately. And the one thing I thought was it was going to be incredibly expensive, like the kind of thing that would be just beyond, especially at that time I wasn't working as well. So I just thought I'm never going to be able to afford to do something like this. Again, very, very thankfully, as someone who hasn't had the most support from my family. There are some people in my family who are fantastic support, but even then, it's not always easy, even if you do have a supportive family, for those to be able to support you in a financial sense, because everybody's struggling at the minute, especially with everything that's going on. It's not the easiest. But being able to have found these chartered therapists who, honestly, it's not bank breaking. It is actually relatively affordable. I'm not going to say it is I'm not going to say it's cheap. It's not like going down the shop and buying a Freddo. Well, 20 years ago.
They ain't cheap anymore. Yeah.
But for what you get back out of it, it's entirely worth it. And even if you can only make it for a couple of sessions, even if you can only afford like one session a month, it's so worthwhile, because you start it sort of opens your eyes, because you do become you start to look very internally. You start to sort of only think inside and sort of focus on these negatives and sort of bring yourself in. But having the chance to open it up with someone who is trained to get you to open up is such a fantastic help. And like I said, we honestly couldn't recommend it enough.
That's awesome. And I love hearing what you just said there, about Xena being your absolute world and things like that. That's amazing, honestly.
Try not to cry again.
If you want to, you can go ahead. this is it's not a not cry free zone. It's a you can do what you want here. Honestly, we've had people cry. You know, Crazy, right?
Yeah.
You know him? Yeah. He got a bit emotional here once, and awesome dude, honestly. But so my other half, Amber, she's the one wants to ask a question. She said, "I hope this isn't too personal." That's not a great way to start a question.
Oh Lord.
But would you say streaming has brought you closer as a couple, being able to share the same passion for gaming and streaming?
I wouldn't even necessarily say yes to that. I just feel like we've always been a very close couple.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably get that vibe from us. People tend to say, "Oh, we're very cute," and they're like lovely and make people like want to do a little cry. I can see people in the chat saying tugging at my heartstrings.
Yeah, I've seen them as well.
But we've always been very close. So I don't know. Has it brought us any closer? I don't think so. I think we were already so close to begin with. I think it would be impossible to be any closer. But I suppose it does help being in the same
It's all about being in the same industry, isn't it?
Yeah, and you see a lot of people who are streamers and they have a streamer wife or a streamer husband, as they're called, who don't necessarily stream themselves but are mods and are really supportive. But it's nice that we both see both. We both mod for each other, but we both also stream. So it's good that we can kind of see both sides of it. We encounter similar issues. We can share, like if there's been a tech issue, we can share if we found something new. So it kind of, it does help having someone who's doing the same thing and understands. I feel like if you didn't understand streaming, or if I didn't understand it, then it would be really, really difficult.
Yeah, I wouldn't say. Yeah, I think I definitely wouldn't say it's pushed us apart.
No.
I think I think we were already very
close
very
to begin with.
Anyway, I think because I mean we're both quite independent people, but when we found each other, we almost immediately became very dependent on each other in a lot of ways.
But like not dependent, but
yeah, but it's sort of like we just immediately clicked.
Yeah.
Into that sort of feeling. I think that's how we knew it was always going to be the right thing to do, and yeah,
we're just a bit mushy.
Little bit.
And the thing is, as well, even though like Amber did say about bringing you closer, as you said, obviously you were extremely close to begin with before you streamed. There's other things as well that streaming can give you as a couple. You know, is like things you can like laugh at and talk about after you stream, and you know you can go to bed and you can be like, oh, did you see what he said in the chat? That was pretty funny, wasn't it? And you have a lot, like it was the same right on Sunday night. Amber and I played in some GTA RP, and it was a Halloween event. Basically, the devs of the server, they'd had like Michael Myers and Pennywise running around, and there was all the locals in the city, which is the AIs. They were all zombies, so it was a bit nuts. And it's basically a group of like 12 of us all sort of sticking together and killing zombies and all this other kind of stuff, and looking after each other and trying to kill Pennywise. But then after it, we were like in bed, and Amber was just laughing at because it was her first proper time in this particular RP server, and we went to bed at like, I think it was like, we were up stupid late. I think we went to bed like 5:30. About 7 a.m. we were still sat there talking about it and laughing about stuff. And I was like, I looked at my phone and I was like, you know what, we better go to bed. Sophia's going to school in 2 hours. And Amber was like, what? She thought it was like 5:30, 6 or something. But we were there for ages. But it was worth it because it was good fun. But yeah, it's definitely like that side of it as well. Like it can give you things to talk about, or like even sometimes, like it might sound not negative, but in a way maybe. But like do you ever like sort of, obviously you watch each other's streams, right? But do you ever like off stream, like maybe Zena, you'll see somebody come in his stream and like say something that's a little bit like awful? Do you ever like after stream go like, oh, did you see that guy? He said that really stupid thing in your stream tonight. You know what I mean? Like you.
I mean, we've been quite lucky that we don't have much of that, but there's definitely been moments where I've been, and I don't know whether you've done this for me, but I've modded for you, modded something out, and I just don't mention it to you because I'm like I feel a bit protective, and I don't know whether we never really talk about that because it's like, if you wanted to bring it up, then you would do. Like I've had a comment where you haven't managed to mod it in time, and I've seen it myself, and it's like, then I'll bring that up and talk about it, and we'll just discuss it. But yeah, most of the time, like if I mod something out for Lewis that I think he doesn't need to see because someone said something that's just like it doesn't need to be said, then I won't bring it up unless you do. And like I just want to protect him, really. I don't want people saying nasty things about my Lewis.
I was going to say the same thing. I think there's definitely been a couple of times in your chat when I've not been able to catch something, but then the majority of the time I try to be sort of on top of it, just like you said, almost to be that first line of defense, just in case. But at the same time, you kind of really quickly learn to. It's a bit like water off a duck's back. You kind of learn to ignore it, because there's always going to be people in life, never mind just Twitch, but there's always going to be people in life who have nothing better to do than to try and bring others down to make themselves feel a bit better.
There's the other people.
When it comes to it, you can't give them the response that they're looking for, because that's all they want. They just want that response. So again, maybe I picked up quite a lot of that when I was working in Spain. I think obviously with your work in theatre as well, you probably picked up a lot of that. So coming onto Twitch and seeing the trolls, I think we were already a little bit on the thick-skinned side.
Yeah, you probably got to be, especially working in like entertainment and that kind of thing, because unfortunately not everybody's gonna. I have the same issue right in referee, and I did a show on the weekend. There was 2 refs working. It was me and this other guy, and he had the first match. I sent him out to do the first match, being the senior official as they called me. The second match I came out, I was walking to the ring. I heard this kid going, "I hate this ref, he sucks." I was like, excuse me? I wanted to go over and swat the little, yeah, I could just hear him saying to his dad or something, "I hate this ref, he sucks." And I was walking to the ring, I was like, if this wasn't a professional environment, I'd kick you. You know what I mean? But
let's see you do it, lad.
It threw me off, bro. Honestly, it threw me off. I was in the ring for the match. I'd like sort of forgotten the ending. I was like trying to remember things. Usually when I come out, there's a group of people who I know, they're friends, and they just start this huge ref chant. And it's usually that, like, and it's like, "Oh, this is your referee for the evening." And it's like, "Yeah, well, nice to see you guys and all this." But then this kid goes, "I hate this ref." I was like, right, okay then. Threw me off completely, my first match I refereed. But yeah, there's pressure as well with performing as well. But right, let's move on. We have a next question once again from Amber. We have sort of touched on this as well. How important would you say family and friend support is for a streamer?
Bizarrely, I don't think. I saw this question come up and I've been thinking a little bit about it actually. Bizarrely, I don't think it's that important. Like, we're quite lucky in that the majority of our family, like, even though they don't understand it, they're very, like, they don't have any problem with it.
Yeah.
But because they don't fully understand it, then we don't really depend on them for anything to do with it, really. Most of the support is coming from the community itself on Twitch. That's not meaning to say that they're being negative about it at all, but they just don't understand it. Like, the most support that I've got from my family in terms of Twitch is when I was trying to push for affiliate, my mum made an account on Twitch so she could give me a follow just to try and help. She's never watched me. She doesn't know what I do. She just thinks it's rather amusing. She just doesn't really understand. So I'd say, and we don't really have very many in real life friends, although you do have one that you'll probably talk about a little bit, who's been super supportive. But yeah, I'd just say that the biggest support's been the community itself.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose from your side of the family, there's a little bit more connection with Twitch. Obviously, your and soon to be my first ever niece nice. Is she streams as well, and she's been fantastic. She's had a few different things going on, sort of changing of jobs and moving of house and taking on a new puppy and stuff like that. So schedule's been a little bit inconsistent recently, but she's such a wonderful, fantastic streamer, and she has been a fantastic support for us, especially when we were getting started as well. She actually she sung the jingle, the Limbo jingle that we have as one of the redeems on my channel, which is really, really nice. And like you said, your mum registered onto Twitch to get you there. My mum, I don't think, can spell Twitch, so she's never seen it. She doesn't really know. I think we might have shown her a clip of what we do.
We tried to show clips to some of the family. I tried to show some to my sisters, and they're just like, okay, like, people watch you. Yes. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the thing as well.
Um,
Like myself, all my family a lot older than me, and like a lot of older generation and old fashioned and all this thing.
yeah,
And like they'd like if well, a lot of them don't know I do this, but if I told them, they'd be like, "What's this nonsense?" You know what I mean?
yeah,
That sort of
Exactly.
mentality, like older head mentality.
yeah. I was gonna say
So like,
my parents are in the sort of mid 60s. They're it's never been their kind of their it's never been their bag.
yeah,
But
exactly.
and so I don't really have many young family members. Um, it's just little old me.
Yes, you.
Whereas the other thing the other thing is that I don't know, maybe it's with, I mean, again, with some of the things I've gone through with my family and stuff. And I just want to point out as always after saying that my mum might not be able to spell Twitch. My mum is a wonderful, wonderful woman. I'm so thankful to have her in my life, 110%. But sort of, but beyond that, beyond my mum, family was never really a big thing for me growing up. A lot of my family, well, my extended family, was sort of very much pushed away, and so I never really got to connect with a lot of family members. The support, not just Twitch. I mean, obviously, like I said, the family isn't really that connected with Twitch, but the support I've gained personally from Xena's family has been it was mind blowing. I mean, the first Christmas I spent with your family, I was in tears because I'd never experienced something like that before, like a family Christmas where you got a couple of kids running, you got kids running around excited about the presents. By a couple of kids, I mean Xena's nephew and me, just being excited opening presents. But see, having like an extended family all in this one room, all just so happy to be around each other, and it was so surreal to me to experience that. So there's the kind of thing I'd only ever seen on television. It was the kind of thing I'd only ever seen on films, and I just always assumed that was Hollywood magic. It's not something that really happens in real life. So to have experienced that support was just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's nice to hear. It's nice to hear as well that like Xena's family does like support you, and obviously in other ways as well, like real life things. Is great. Like
Yeah.
you guys seem like you got what was I gonna say? Not like sort of got it made as such, because like that normally means millionaires and that kind of thing. But it's nice that you got a good sort of support network around you both. So it's awesome,
Yeah, we're
honestly.
very lucky, very fortunate, 100%. A lot of people aren't as lucky, so yeah, I'm gonna say I appreciate every single one of them every single day.
I just gonna touch on a little comment from Amber. Yeah, she said in the chat, I'll tell you a story when Chris first hit affiliate. So I think she means when I was trying to get there. She went on all of her family's phones, downloading Twitch and following me on their making accounts. So
Yeah.
That's
I remember
brilliant.
a couple of times I was live and these names would pop up. I'm like, who the hell is that? And she'd be like, hi, it's me. And I'd be like, oh, it's me. I don't know who you are. You know what I mean? But then, like, she made one account, right? The account names were tragic. Like, I like cool names and things, like Lorraine. Just Lorraine. Lorraine has followed. Oh, hi, Lorraine. I was like, oh, God. She just literally used all her
Amazing.
family's real names. So, it's like Valerie, Mervyn, which is a Welsh name. I was like, who are these people? Why
Brilliant.
are they following me? Go away. But no, it was it made some funny content actually, because I was like talking to people, and I think she pretended to be somebody else at one point. And I was like, oh
I
yeah,
love it.
my future mother-in-law is called Lorraine. And I was like, wait. I was like, Amber here? No, she's not here. I was like, that's you, isn't it? That's you, Amber. She's like, yeah, it's me. Okay. But no, talking of Amber, she does have another. I'm sorry if this comes across as personal question.
Oh.
Would you guys say you have like um, date night or couple time other than gaming or streaming, or is like gaming your sort of shtick? Is that your thing?
Oh, it's a bit of a tough one, especially recently, because I've actually just recently started getting into being self-employed. so that's so some of the time recently has been difficult. I know it's something we talk about quite a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, we always, every single evening, we will spend time together after we've had dinner. So we'll always sit down for dinner together. That's very important for us. We'll watch some TV together. We'll, you know, spend a little bit of time, you know, computers to one side, because I mean, as you can tell, we are actually on the sofa right now. This is our sofa. It's, again, very janky setup. It's not a professional professional system. You are joining us in our living room, which is amazing. But so yeah, so you know, PCs go to either side, and we, you know, sort of relax on the sofa, you know, watching a little bit of TV together. We'll always make sure that, because the other thing is as well, Xena and I we kind of run on different schedules. Maybe because of my time as an entertainer, I'm very much a night owl, whereas Xena is the perfect dictionary definition of an early bird. But we always still make sure that, like, when you go up to bed and everything, I'll always go up and, you know, we'll spend about, you know, some time together, just having a little bit of like downtime, just a bit,
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course,
so we'll have a little
Chill
bit of a
time.
cuddle, we'll have a little bit of a kissy,
A little bit of a chat.
a little bit of a chat, and it's just nice to know that that's something that we'll always have, and
Yeah, exactly.
it's important for us to make that time for each other as well.
And we
Absolutely.
also, gaming does really help, like, because we do have time where sometimes we'll watch a film, but sometimes we'll just play a game together. Like, one of the things we do every so often is we'll play, I like Dead by Daylight. Lewis is less into the game than me. I stream it sometimes. I do Disney by Daylight, which is like my version of horror game, but
like
you know, with my own wholesome chaos attached to it. But I'll just sometimes be like, you know what, do you fancy playing a few games Dead by Daylight with me? And it's just nice just to be able to, like, share something that we enjoy doing, the gaming together. Sometimes we'll hop onto Minecraft together.
Fall
Guys, you know, so we do, like, sometimes do gaming stuff off stream together, and that's sometimes quite a nice way to relax. But yeah, we watch films as well. Like, it's very difficult finding time to spend with each other, but it is important.
Yeah.
But not just because of the streaming, but because we're planning a wedding at the moment, so that ends up taking up a lot of our free time. So hopefully after the wedding, it's crossed, we'll have even more time for date night.
Awesome little question, actually. Do you plan on streaming the wedding at all? You totally should.
We've thought about it.
Yeah,
we're just trying to work out the logistics of it, because
that's
obviously
the biggest thing.
We can't work out quite how to stream it without doxing ourselves. That's the one thing we're a bit concerned about.
Yeah, because and essentially, I will sort of say this as the both of us. Might actually be a little bit of a surprise for some people, but our names aren't necessarily our actual names.
Okay.
So that's sort of a little bit onto into the background of us, is that there are some little stage namey bits. So we don't want to necessarily give
all
that
away,
away.
Of course,
we do want to share.
We do want to share
as much as we can as possible. We're thinking at the moment that it will be like pictures and stuff afterwards. We are having a videographer film the wedding.
Yeah.
So if we can take whatever they make and obviously edit out the name part of it, which should be fairly easy, we can post that on our Discord. And just bits and bobs like that. Another
thing regarding logistics as well is that we're very, very lucky to have got a venue that we never thought we would be able to get. It just happened to be, maybe it's because of everything that's going on or anything like that, but the venue we got for a better price than we ever expected we'd be able to. So it's actually a castle that we're going to be.
That's so you. That's so you, honestly.
But because of that, there's again quite a few things that we have to be very, very careful with. There's quite a few things that we've got to be very much aware of. Some places are a little bit compact, some places are very, very wide, so we do have certain issues regarding streaming that way as well. But in the same breath, if it's something we can stream one way or another, we'd love to. Beyond that, we will definitely be sharing as much as we can of the photographs from afterwards, of the videos afterwards, So there
Yeah.
we'll definitely be sharing it.
Yeah,
because
we're not ruling out streaming it. We just haven't worked out how to do it without
Yeah.
doxing ourselves. And if
Yeah,
we
of
can
course,
work it
yeah.
out and work out logistics
of
then
it
we will.
within that sort of
Yeah.
Awesome.
building.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, whatever it is. Like even if it's like you said, like a wedding video and photo stream or something like that, that'd be sick to
Yeah.
watch, honestly.
Yeah.
And then you could like maybe like I don't know, get some green or your webcams bottom corners and then the video behind or something like that, and you can commentate on it, and you know,
That'd be cool.
That'd be a
I
great
think it'd be
idea.
sick, honestly. Yeah, I'd really enjoy to watch something like that, as I'm sure pretty much everybody who's in here right now would, based on what they've learned and seen about you guys so far, you know. Right, okay, we have another one from Crazy's in the chat. He wants to know, how you doing, buddy, by the way. He wants to know, as a streamer couple, what ups and downs have you guys battled and overcome on your journey? It's a good question.
Yeah. So again, it's a bit of a tough one, really.
Hmm.
There's and I suppose the only real thing, it has been something that we've both experienced a couple of times each on the journey, is like I said before, something that we constantly sort of say to each other, and we do get it very, very quickly when it happens. But you know, compare and despair. And when we were saying it earlier, we were talking about when you're comparing to other streamers and things like that. But there will be sometimes you end up sort of we compare ourselves to each other.
Yeah.
And you know, there's been periods where you know, I've had more followers than Xena, or Xena's had more followers than me, or more a higher viewership, or had a larger raid come through, or you know, so many different things like that. And it can be really, really difficult sometimes, because there's always that little voice in the back of your head that's saying, what am I doing wrong? Why aren't I getting that? We're similar, we're a couple, there's so many things that make us the same. But then you've realized as well that there are so many differences. There are so many variables in streaming. Obviously, we stream at different times. I'm no longer a variety streamer. I'm saying it, I'm a Pokemon streamer.
There you go.
That was a big moment, a really big moment. So yeah, so there's so many variables, so many things that make it different, so many things that say this is why this is happening now, this is why that's happening then. But
you're right, it is challenging, because it's one of our biggest strengths is the fact that we are a couple.
Yeah.
And it's also one of our biggest weaknesses in some regards, because you do have someone who is in your house that you can directly compare yourself to. But the thing that makes it work for us is that we're very, very strong as a couple, and that whenever we're having these problems, like whenever one of us is feeling like that, we can always talk to the other and be like, look, this is how I'm feeling today. And the other person can always then, you know, bring you up, like make you feel better, make you remember that we're a unit at the end of the day. We work as individuals, we stream as individuals, but we are a couple. And what makes us strong is that we can work through things, and we bring so much positivity to each other's lives. It's probably making you all feel a bit sick, this, but you know what I mean?
we're a team.
Yeah,
we're a squad.
Exactly.
We're a team
we're
squad.
A team squad. But yeah, I'd say in terms of ups and downs, and that's always the thing that's going to be the difficult thing, is the comparison. But I think everyone has that on Twitch. If you're not comparing yourself to, you know, we're just in a different situation where it's comparing it to your other half.
Yeah.
But everyone does it, and like we always say, you shouldn't. You need to not, because everyone's going on their own journey in their own time, and people will get to where they're going to get to, and it's just about enjoying it, really.
You know, we at the same time, we are both so aware of how fortunate we are, how in a way how privileged we are to have come as far as we have come in such a short period of time. And that kind of helps as well, because, you know, say if we looked at it and said, you know, we're not actually doing that great, maybe we might be bickering at each other a little bit more. But at the same time, we are so fortunate to have the communities that we have, and a lot of that community is shared as well. So we are so fortunate to have that community and those communities, and to think that even if one of us thinks, oh well, I've not done so well today, and the other one of us did a little bit better, or vice versa, we can then always look back and think, but actually overall we're both very happy and very proud and very lucky to be doing as well as we are doing. And long may it continue, but if neither of us gained another follower for the next year or anything like that, we're doing it because we enjoy it, and we get a lot of enjoyment out of that, and seeing each other's, we enjoy watching each other's streams as well. It's not like we're doing it because we have to, it's because, well, personally, I just really enjoy the environment that you sort of build in your community.
I enjoy the environment in your community.
That's
Okay,
awesome,
nobody
though.
sick at that.
No, I love it. It's awesome. It's so like nice, and like Amber's just said here now. I'm actually gonna pop that up in the chat there. Like she just said, I think it's amazing. It's lovely to see people so in love with each other, with so much negativity in the world. Yeah, it is great. You two guys, just you could see it oozes like love, and you support each other, and you do all these things for each other and help each other. And like, I think if Amber started streaming, I think we'd compete a little bit, me and Amber, because that's our nature. Like we, if you met me and Amber in real life, okay, on the street, you'd probably think like, how the hell are these guys together? They must hate each other's guts, because we talk to each other like crap. But that's just the way we are. Like, if I'm not calling her a dickhead, right, I'm not being nice to her, basically. That's the way we speak to each other. Like, if we ever came in a party with us and she'd say something, and my sort of, I'm not like this with everybody. I'd never do this like you guys, like, but I'd be like, oh, just shut the up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get you.
But like,
we do have little moments like that where we can sort of have a little joke and have a little bit of banter and stuff like that. But I think just in general, maybe because of the upbringings we've had, the things that we've experienced and stuff like that. Generally, we are very positive towards each other, because we just want to build each other up. And again, maybe it's because of how with everything that's been going on and how we've been feeling, that again there is so much negativity around. We just want to be positive, but
don't get me wrong, like, obviously people here you go, this can be a down of being a Twitch couple. We are human beings at the end of the day. Like, we're not perfect. No couple is perfect. I just want to point that out. Like, and we get a lot of people who are like, oh, you guys, couple goals, Twitch couple goals, power couple goals, and that could easily put a lot of pressure on a relationship. So that's probably one of the downs of like being a Twitch couple.
Yeah.
But the reason that we survive it again is because we're so strong as a couple anyway. And like, I just want to point out, we are human beings. We do have, I wouldn't say we have full on rows, but like,
but we have
disagreements. We're human beings at the end of the day. Two people trying to, build a life together. You're always going to have little things that you disagree on. And I just want to say that that's completely normal in a relationship. So I know we have a lot of younger viewers who come into our chats, and they're always like, oh, how do you find a relationship like this? I don't know how. And I'm like, it's not all roses, you have to work at it, and that's
and we've had to struggle through some things as well. I mean, if we sort of go pre-stream and pre-pandemic, you were working in a totally different part of the country for a while, so you actually for how long was it for? 6 months, 12 months?
6 months, I think.
About 6 months we were living. After having lived together, we were living apart for 6 months, pretty much solidly. And I think if it wasn't for how well we do get along and how much we again, without being too soppy, how much we do love each other, I don't think we would necessarily have survived that. But we knew, and it maybe in a way it almost cemented it as well, to know that this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. And that, I know it's a really old cliche, absence makes the heart grow stronger and all that, but I don't know, going through those difficult times, because they were difficult, as much as we don't really think about it, it was very, very tough to because at the time I was working a lot as well, and obviously Zena was working a lot in a different part of the country, and you were having to go home to a flat that you didn't know and had no emotional attachment to, and I was coming home to to a house that I did have an emotional attachment to, but that emotion, the thing that caused me to be emotionally attached to it, Xena wasn't there. It was really hard, but
Yeah.
and then it was almost like going into a long distance relationship after having a close relationship.
That's probably why Twitch has ended up working out so well for us. Like, I think some people wonder how we cope with spending so much time together, because we stream from the same room, we mod in each other's channels, so we spend pretty much every day at the moment together. Obviously you're going back to work, so that might be a bit different soon. But I think because we were in that situation before this all happened, before the lockdown and stuff happened, and I ended up working from home and moving back into this house more full time, I think that experience has made us appreciate each other so much that we don't mind spending all our time together. And I feel like a lot of couples in our situation probably would have murdered each other by now.
100%. 100%.
But I think it's probably that's made us like just even closer. The fact that we know that how much we miss each other when we were apart, so we kind of appreciate
I love it,
time
honestly.
we spend together.
I do love like everything about you guys, and you know, it just shows as well, you know, like how strong you both are. You know, obviously you said, you know, that you are human and things. Obviously as well, people see you on stream. You know, they don't, you know, people don't see what as soon as you stop going live. Like at the end of this podcast, you guys might go into a flat out argument. Who knows? You know, we don't know how your day has been.
I can't believe you said that.
I bet I've said something wrong. I bet I'm gonna put a tenner down now. If I had a tenner, I'd put a tenner down right now. I've said something wrong.
No, I don't know if you guys noticed as well, but you're kind of twinning right now. The only thing that's missing is you with the glasses, Limbo, on your.
Oh well,
you're both
I was gonna say, I mean,
same colours, long hair.
We both have long hair. We didn't mean to do the same color, and in all fairness, I think the camera is not doing us justice. Xena's actually wearing a purple.
Oh, is it
shirt.
really? Okay.
That is but on the screen it looks blue.
It does kind of,
This is a dark navy. If like in actually here they're not the same color.
No, you can see it now. Yeah.
But we didn't mean to twin. The only thing was we decided we were going to wear. Originally we didn't think of it quickly enough, but we were going to wear each other's merch. But I wore Xena's merchandise yesterday on stream, so it's in the wash. So now Xena's wearing her merch today, and I'm wearing.
That's awesome.
Mine.
We will be dropping a link for that merch as well, guys, down below in the description of the video. Okay, but
thank you very much.
You know, you're saying about you were going to wear each other's merch, right? Funny story. You know that Halloween RP thing I said about? There's these two guys in there. I don't know what their I know the girl's name is Chelsea, but I don't know what their both names are. In character, they're called Bill and Blythe Blute. They play as like an old couple. I think one's like 84, one's 82 or something. And on their streams, they both streamed at the same time. Bill, or the guy who plays Bill, for his Halloween costume, he was dressed as Bill, as his character. So he like grayed up his hair, put some wrinkles on his face and all this kind of thing, wore the same clothing. And then Blythe did the same thing as well. So she had her hair all grayed up. She drew like big wrinkles on her face. She had exactly the same top on, which she has in on her character. It was so nice to see. It's awesome. And then in City, after we finished fighting all the zombies and all that kind of thing, we all decided to get some fancy dress Halloween costumes on, go and have some photos and some drinks in game, right? So, you know, I turned up dressed as a pirate. Amber turned up dressed as in a red dress with Rudolph antlers. I don't know why. But then they dressed as each other in game. So you had Blythe dressed as Bill and Bill dressed as Blythe. And they were both trying to do like each other's voice and things. It was absolutely amazing to watch, honestly.
That's incredible.
Pure good content. It was brilliant. You guys should definitely look into RP, honestly. I think you'd both be good at it. Honestly,
I've played a lot of GTA in my time. I love GTA, and to be fair, I think that's actually how me and you first met, Chris. I saw your GTA RP stream, which I absolutely adored. Absolutely, I thought it was hilarious. It was absolutely great, and it was something I thought to myself, it's something I would love to get into. But I mean, to be fair, I felt like it was the kind of thing I'd want to be doing around this sort of time of night, which is just always tends to be a time that neither has really played games and neither has really stream at this sort of time.
It's like our time.
Yeah, and but I would love it. And the thing is, again, because we're PG-13 streamers,
Yeah, that is another thing. Yeah,
GTA is a bit of a tough one for us to do.
it is.
But I would love to get back into GTA again, even off stream. And I mean, I love role playing games in general. I used to play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. So it's sort of offline, sort of as a table game. But yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I've always been really, really into it, and I think if I ever maybe again, I need, like with starting Twitch, I just need that that rocket up the bum to just sort of say,
Is that my cue?
you know, actually, you know, just do it once, and then it'll roll on.
Yeah.
Is that my cue to force you to do something again?
Yeah. If you don't mind.
No, but honestly, I just love everything about the both of you. I don't think I've seen you both stream together. I don't think.
We haven't done a dual stream in a long time.
Probably a month or two ago, we did a Portal 2 co-op stream.
Yes.
I think that's the last one we've done properly together.
We do have something potentially in mind, as it's not going to be the main thing we're doing for this. But essentially, there's a charity event that we're going to be doing next month, which, to be fair, is the first we've announced on stream. So there you go, everyone.
Exclusive, just for you.
Literally just answered my my next question. I was going to say, is there anything coming on stream soon that you'd like to tell people? But yeah, go ahead.
So we were approached on Twitter by an animal charity.
It's International Animal Rescue.
Yeah, International Animal Rescue, to do some work to help raise money for the orangutans.
Okay.
So it's called Take the Fall for Orangutans, and it's a charity around the game Fall Guys, charity event organized around Fall Guys, and we need to. I haven't streamed Fall Guys in a long time, so I need to get into that. I haven't played it in quite a while as well. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to need to get a little bit more, brush up my skills.
I mean, I find it ironic. So essentially, they're phrasing it as a tournament, but it's a kind of the way it works is you stream Fall Guys over this period of time on your stream, and then you submit video evidence of your 3 best rounds of Fall Guys for the tournament. But anyone who's watched me play Fall Guys knows that this is a complete joke, because I have never won a single crown on my own stream. It's actually a running joke on my stream. The only crown I've ever won was on someone else's stream, and my chat will not let me live it down. So it's ironic that we've been asked to do this for charity, but that's the thing we've got coming up on our channels, is that we're hoping to raise £500 for the charity, and we've got lots of fun things planned, lots of little incentives to keep people going. We've got some giveaways we're going to be running, bits and bobs like that. I think one of the reward tiers is that people might get to help me select my next cosplay for a stream. So, you know, we've got lots of fun bits and bobs. So we'll announce more about that on our channels as we start kind of the build up to try and start raising the money for that. But it's just really nice to be approached by someone, to be
Massively.
fair. And I mean, I've always loved like orangutans. They're such cute animals, so it's nice for it to be a charity that aligns well with kind of what we're all about, really, and looking forward to it.
I was gonna say it was a really big shock to me, because I'm not always the best on some of the social medias, especially Twitter. I'm
It's terrible.
I'll look at it once a day or something like that, and I didn't notice I had a message from them at first. I think I'd just come back into the house and said, I don't believe this. I've just been followed by someone with a blue tick on Twitter, and I was like, what? I can't believe it. Someone with a blue tick on Twitter has followed me, and
Big
then
moment.
I realized that they'd sent me a message as well.
No.
And that was the charity getting in touch, and it was a really, really, really big shock. But so I think we'll probably do some a couple of, maybe 1 or 2 dual streams
that'd be really fun
of Fall Guys. We won't be able to use those ones for the competition,
but it'll be fun to play together. The reason we end up not doing so much together anymore is just because of how busy we are. And normally the only days that we can do a dual stream is, so I obviously work full time, and Lewis will be going back to work soon, so that will be
self-employed.
so that'll be difficult. But normally the days that work best for a dual stream for us is Saturday or Sunday, and I already stream in the morning on both those days. So it was getting to a point where I was essentially streaming Friday, 2 streams on Saturday, and then Sunday, and then going back to work on a Monday. And it just got to a point where I was like, I was getting snappy with you, and I didn't need to get snappy. I was like, that's normally the sign when I'm doing too much, is when I start getting to the end of my tether for no reason. And I was like, you know what, no, like, our relationship is more important right now than trying to stream together. And it's hopefully something that we can start to get back more into as we can work out schedules and stuff like that. But
I suppose there's another difficulty with it as well, is a lot of the games that you'd like to stream as a pair, like something like Among Us, is something we really enjoyed doing together. But the problem is being in the same room, literally like a matter of feet away from each other, being able to see each other's monitors, being able to
doesn't help.
It makes it very, very tough. And I mean, obviously something like Fall Guys isn't it doesn't really matter being able to see each other's screen or anything like that, but a lot of games actually really it can be really difficult to do with actually being so physically close. And again, because this is primarily our living room, / recording studio, it's essentially we're facing the same direction, we are essentially next to each other. It can be a little bit tough, but
I can just see it now though. The what's it called when you find a body? Is it like an interview thing, or like a, what do they call it in Among Us? Like a meeting or something.
When you go to the emergency meeting, and
that's it,
and
I can just see it now.
I can immediately go, Xena did it. I know she did. I wasn't anywhere near her in the game, but I could see her from over there.
I was the other side of the map. Awesome.
And it was actually me that did the murder anyway.
Imagine that. That would be too funny. That would be too funny. Hey, Glitch Golder, welcome on in, buddy. Holy, this is such a vibe. You damn right it is. Right, okay, we only have a few questions left to ask now, guys. I just realised how long we've been going. We've officially made this the longest episode of the podcast yet, so
we can chat for England. There's 2 of us, so it's really long.
I love it. Honestly, I do love it. Like, I could sit you all night long, but obviously we're not going to, because of like YouTube and that kind of thing. I could literally sit you for 6-7 hours talking about things, especially streaming, gaming, cool stuff. Like, well, I can't talk about
if you ever want us on
again
in the future, maybe on another series or anything like that, by all means, let us know. We'd love to.
We are gonna. I actually thought about this like yesterday or the day before, because one of my friends said I'd love to come back on and do like a catch up thing, because I'm doing a lot better these days. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do like season like 4 or 5, like a recap season where we'll get like select people from past podcasts on and see like sort of where they are now, and maybe like do like a whole stat comparison, and like, okay, so when we spoke to you last time you were on X amount of followers, now you've doubled it, so all that kind of stuff. But I think that would be pretty good to look at. Right, I do have 1 or 2 more questions left.
Of course.
Next one is about usernames. I'm always interested in people's usernames, what the sort of theory was behind them, the thinking behind them. So I want you to tell me where your guys' usernames came from.
I'll go first, because I feel like mine's got a less interesting story. So I sat down and brainstormed names because I had no idea what I wanted to go as. Most of my other social media stuff from before I started doing Twitch had my real name in it, and I wasn't comfortable having my real name out there because of my job and how easy it would be for people to essentially find out lots of stuff about me. So there is an element of my real name in my username, and that's where I kind of started the basis of it. Obviously that's the bit that's the Xena part. Obviously it's not the not or the bit.
Hi, I'm not.
I essentially just brainstormed loads of different names, and mine actually came from a combination of 2 things. So having something like Xena as part of your real name, you do get a lot of people who go, oh, like the warrior princess, and it's like, no, it's not spelt like that, it's spelt with a Z instead of an X, so it's not that Xena, it's this one with a Z. So that kind of came from there. But also it's kind of a bit of, this is a really obscure reference and no one's going to get, but I really like musical theatre, and it's actually a reference to a song from Wicked which is called Not That Girl, but it's not that Xena. So it's kind of a combination of the 2 things, and I don't think I've ever told anyone that before, but that's how it came about as a brainstorm. So yeah, that's how
That's
NotThatZena
awesome.
came about.
And yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think you probably over popularized my mine. I'm gonna say it does have a story. It's just not that good of a story. So yeah, my name actually it predates Twitch. So back when I was working in Spain as an entertainer, we used to do this game because I was working specifically at this one hotel. It was a 4/5 star during the time I was there. It changed from the 2. So it became a 5-star hotel, and the clientele were the kind of people that they didn't want to be doing football in the middle of the day. They didn't want to be doing beer pong or anything like that. It just wasn't that sort of deal. It was, to be fair, mostly they were Saga guests. Saga is a hotel, a holiday company specifically for 60, either 60 or 65 and over. So like I said, they're not really going to be in for a bit of tennis in the middle of the day. It's too much for them. They'd much rather be sat on the sunbeds and have entertainment happening around them. So we used to do this thing around lunchtime called Challenge Your Entertainer. And the thing is, whilst to say everybody wanted to be at the sunbeds, there was occasionally, you know, a teenager that's come along, because it wasn't entirely Saga, but it was mostly Saga. So you'd have a teenager that's come along with their family, and whilst again not really getting involved, they still wanted something to do. Or sometimes we'd have you will find someone from the older generation who does want to do something in the middle of the day, you know, because they can't be bothered laying around, and they're just like, I just don't want this. Like,
Too much effort.
I've read this book 16 times already. So they want to do something a little bit different. So this one day we were doing Challenge the Entertainer, and we used to do so many different things, and we would ask people, it would be the guest's choice. What would you like to challenge your entertainer to do? And we had lots of different ones, like lawn darts, or a snooker, a pool challenge, like billiards kind of thing. We used to have one that was a race swimming across the bay, and just little things like that. And what we do is we'd have this one guest versus one of the entertainment team, and we would go around to all the different sunbeds and say, would you like to bet on who do you think is going to win? Obviously, we weren't betting money or anything like that, but if you put a time down, or you put a win for this one, or win for that one, and whoever won got a certificate just hastily signed by us. Just a little bit of a laugh. And this one week we had this family in, and they had a 16-year-old daughter with them, and this 16-year-old daughter was training to be a gymnast and she was heading for towards Commonwealth Games and that kind of thing. She was absolutely outstanding, wonderful girl she was. And she decided to challenge me to Limbo. Now the thing is, like I said, when I first got into entertainment, I'd never really done dancing before, never sung before, nothing like that. And I'm 6'1", lanky as anything. I'm literally a drain pipe in a shirt and shorts at this point. So it seemed like an obvious win would be to challenge me to Limbo. And so we got round to it, went round. Probably 90% of the guests were like, 16-year-old gymnast going to the Commonwealth Games, yeah, she's gonna win. So we went round and got all that done, and we started doing it, and I was thinking there's not gonna be a chance, like no chance at all. And so we start going, and as it keeps getting lower and lower and lower, maybe my competitive edge was coming out, I don't know, but I just didn't want to give up. So it kept going and kept going and kept going, and people started to get quite interested. People were sort of getting up from the sunbeds. They were like looking around, going, "Actually, what's going on here?" They started clapping each time. They're really going for it, like, "Oh, go on!" Some of them were going. I won't say the girl's name, but let's just say Ellen. They're going, "Oh, go on, Ellen! Go on, Ellen!" And then some of them were like, "Oh, Lewis, he's doing it! He's doing it! He's doing it!" And it was just really going. And I was getting really hyped up, and I thought, yes, I'm gonna do this. And it got to a point where we were, I think it was about probably a foot and a half off the ground. So it was low. It was low. And it was Ellen's turn to go first, and she goes through, and to be fair, she got probably about 3/4 of the way under, and then all of a sudden she just couldn't hold it, and she dropped.
Yeah.
And I looked and I went, this is my shot. This could well be the peak of my life. This could be the best I ever do at anything I ever do. So I get myself lined up in front of it, and I start shuffling my feet out to the side. So yeah, my legs. If this is where they touch me, if this is where my legs touch me bum and my elbows and my feet, I'm sort of out like that.
Wait.
My legs are wide. The people holding the bar, they're having to shuffle out the way so my legs aren't touching them. And I just keep going, and I'm going, and I'm just shuffling forwards. It probably took me about an hour to actually get my entire length of my body underneath it. But I went all the way, and there was an absolute roar. Everyone was going nuts, and people just kept going, Lewis, Limbo, Lewis, Limbo, just shouting and shouting and shouting. And that's kind of where LimboLewis came from the Lewis, Limbo, Lewis, Limbo, Lewis, Limbo, Limbo, Lewis. And the name just stuck for the rest of the season. And from that point, I started using it as my username in video games, online games, for my Facebook, for which I don't have anymore. If you want to try and find it, that's I'm off of that now. But yeah, so that's where that sort of name all came through. And it's just stuck ever since. I'm still not too bad at it. I'm still not too bad, but I don't think I'd be able to beat it now. I'm too old.
I wish I'd known before the stream why your name was that, because I would have probably reached out to Zena quietly in the slide and said, do me a favour, just tie a bit of string or something to the wall and hold it and move your webcam.
Oh, get the broom
so we can
handle
see
down.
The broom handle, there you go. And that multi-purpose broom handle. But yeah, so HD Gaming High the second. I think Lewis's real name is Twitch Jesus, which is also an awesome name as well. There it is.
It's on the badge.
I do love that. That's pretty sick, to be fair. That is pretty awesome. The messiah of all of Twitch. But honestly, that was real good fun, guys. Speaking to both of you, honestly, it was very informative as well. You know, we learned a lot about the both of you, such as where your names came from, and amongst other things. Before we go, I do have one final question. I need you to tell people individually where people can find the both of you.
I'll go first. So you can find us on Twitch at our handles. So I'm on Twitch as NotThatZena, but you can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and newly TikTok. Please go and follow my TikTok. I'm trying to grow on TikTok. I'm a bit old, but I'm trying my best. So yeah, I'm NotThatZena on all of my social media handles. We're also on YouTube at LimboZena Zone, as combined. So and LimboZena Zone on Discord. But we post all our old VODs onto YouTube. So if you ever miss anything, then they're all there.
Yeah, and for me, again, Twitch, nice and easy, twitch.tv/LimboLewis. And on Twitter, just because of my old days playing competitive Pokemon, I don't really do competitive Pokemon anymore, but I used to go to the regional and national events. So my Twitter handle is LimboLewis VGC.
There you are. And guys, for anybody watching this on YouTube, both of them sets of links will all be down in the description below. Make sure you go and check them out. Show them a lot of love as well. They're getting married next year. There's plenty of love there, as you can clearly see, as you've watched this whole podcast anyway. But go and show them a lot more. Honestly, they're an awesome couple. They both deserve it. Individually as streamers, they're awesome. Together, they're even more awesome. So, guys, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I do appreciate it. It's been a great start to season 3.
Thank you so much for inviting us on.
Honestly, it's great. And you can thank Fantastic Gamer for encouraging me over these last... So I was sort of burnt out with the podcast, and I was like, I'm not going to do it anymore, I don't think. But then I've had him, I've had a few other people just in my DMs, just, when's the podcast coming back? Oh, okay, I'll bring it back, and I'm glad I did, because this has been an awesome episode. So
Fat's an absolute legend.
He is a
Love the
legend.
guy.
Fair play to the guy. He's comical. I don't think he knows how to type on a phone, by the way. I don't know if you've ever spoke to him on Twitter or something on your phone, particularly WhatsApp, right? Because he'll message me something, a voice clip. I'll message him back text, and the rest of his is just voice clip after voice clip. I just don't think he can be bothered to type anymore. So it's quite funny at like 1 a.m. when I'm on my doorstep having a smoke, and he's just like, my neighbours can just hear his voice loud as hell on my phone talking about the most randomest of stuff. So yeah, but he's a great guy, honestly. Thank you, Fat, for the encouragement to come back. I appreciate that. Anyway, guys, we are going to wrap it up there. Thank you all so much for tuning in and being awesome viewers, and for some great questions as well. We will be back next week. We don't have a guest yet, so if anybody wants to step in next week, there's a free spot, unless I go and find somebody myself. So if anybody wants to be where these guys are right now, slide in the DMs. Let's get it going. But yeah, apart from that, thank you all so much for watching. Lewis, Zena, thanks so much for being superb guests. They were first ever couple, and it couldn't have gone any better in my eyes. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button, maybe leave a comment or two, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications of when we go live next time with more podcasts and when there's more videos posted. Until then, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Lewis, Zena, thank you once again for being here. And we'll catch you all on the flip side. Take it easy, guys. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.